Yes, so the technique used in the film is called mordansage, and it's a very miraculous and strange thing that I discovered actually working with film, with 16 millimeter film. I would go to Baltic Analog Lab, fantastic film lab in Riga, and we would try this all kinds of strange things that you can do with like manipulating the film strip. And this mordansage would react with the emulsion on the film, lifting the black areas of the film. So basically it would react with silver salts in the film. And this technique comes from actually 19th century, so it's quite old. It was using for bleaching of the film. But then in the 60s, artists working, like experimental artists working with film, they were trying to find different ways of like destroying the film and doing like crazy things. So it was quite popular then. In photography, it's not very popular. I think not as much as in film. But I really, since I'm mostly working with photography in the darkroom, I was really curious what would happen if I would use it on the film, on the photographic paper, because you have silver salts there as well. And then I was developing just prints, so you would have only like photograph in the end that would be like this with these strange waves. But then realizing how this process is magical and very like alchemy, you know, I wanted to show this as well. So I started to film the process, and I would have camera standing on this like animation stand, and I would have chemicals and silver gelatin prints or photograph developed in the darkroom. I would put it in this chemical and then sort of play with it while I was filming. And yeah, this is the technique. Yeah, that's true. I was trying to make connection with body that is going through transformation, through metamorphosis, and also with the body of the film or of the photograph, because it's also emotion is like a skin. It's also very sensitive. It's reactive to the external um, external things that you put on it, like it reacts. And it's all in the film. I think it's all about this metamorphosis. It's all about the change, about the process, and I think queer body, transgender body, is while it's going under this change, while it's experiencing change. I think it's a very violent process as well, not because of the process itself, but because of the society and its reaction. And also the process, the photographic process that I'm working is also very violent to the print. It sort of disrupts the image, distorts the image. It completely destroys the emulsion. So basically, yeah, I found it interesting that these things correlate. There's a lot of similarities, how the skin is kind of being destroyed. Not destroyed, it's just going through something. It's changing, and after the process, something new is born, something changes, something different is present. So I have a background in cultural anthropology and sociology, and I think this is very useful in working as an artist, because it gives you another lens of seeing the reality, of realizing the complexity of social issues. And gender is a big part of understanding social reality. But I think in the film, how I approach is maybe from the what person is going through inside, from like internal perspective, because it's very, it's sort of maybe like meditative, or it's talking about the inner process. But definitely, like having a camera in my hand and knowledge from anthropology, you know, it's another tool that you have that you can like crisscross and to work with it together. It's a useful tool, I would say. I would say not just showing queer topics, visible on the surface that you would have queer topics, but also way of approaching the cinema language, showing unconventional ways of, telling a story, because also like queer everyday life is unconventional. So telling a story, you should also have lens that are critical and that are showing like a lot of layers of experience of queer people. So maybe this is even more important than just showing lesbian story or transgender experience, but just like having cinematic language that also supports how you tell the story. I also have to say I'm really thrilled with your festival. That's why I came here. It's so important to have this kind of, small community-run places and festivals where people who are working, they're really passionate. They don't do it for money. And people who come, they really appreciate this. And also for south of Italy, for Sicily, I don't know really political situation, so like good here, but I think it's really pushing, the progressive ideas here. I'm sure it's very important for community here that this is happening. So this is why I also came from Finland, just like flying here, and I'm really appreciating.